So we already know Tom Cruise saved the summer blockbuster last year with Top Gun Maverick. So can he do it again in 2023 with Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1? Well, let's find out. Who am I kidding? Yes, he can. What's up, guys? I'm Sully, and today I am super excited because we finally get to talk about the 7th movie in the Mission Impossible franchise, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. All you need to know about this one is that the story goes like this. Ethan Hunt and his IMF team embark on their most dangerous mission yet, to track down a terrifying new weapon that threatens all of humanity before it falls into the wrong hands. With control of the future and the fate of the world at stake, and dark forces from Ethan's past closing in, a deadly race around the globe begins. Confronted by a mysterious, all-powerful enemy, Ethan is forced to consider that nothing can matter more than his mission, not even the lives of those he cares about most. So this was definitely one of my most anticipated movies of the year, which is a seriously cold take. I mean, everybody and their mother was waiting on this film after seeing what Cruise and company delivered up to us with Fallout. And Mission Impossible really is such an interesting franchise, because it seems like it does get better and better the longer it goes on. That doesn't happen. Like, the chances that the 7th installment of any franchise is serviceable, let alone good, is pretty much unthinkable. Unless you're Tom Cruise. So there have been 7 of these movies now, and we know how these stories go at this point, right? Someone bad steals a thing, but they need another thing to make it work, and Ethan Hunt sets out to stop them from getting that thing. But no matter how many times we've seen this same story structure play out in front of us, it doesn't stop these movies from being a 10 out of 10 on the entertainment scale. What they usually lack in unique and interesting plot lines, they make up for with death-defying stunts and memorable action set pieces. I will say they do some interesting stuff with the plot this time around to keep it a bit more engaging, since it's centered around artificial intelligence and they have a solid enough villain, but the plot here still is pretty messy, which is to be expected with this franchise. There are a ton of explanation scenes with Ethan and his team, where characters are going back and forth rapid fire, explaining why what they're doing is important and why they're going to where they're going next. And again, this is a part 1. We know this is not a complete story, so all the things I'm talking about right now that are a little rough around the edges, maybe they wrap them up with a pretty little bow for part 2 when that comes out next year. Only time will tell. Obviously, our usual lovable crew is back this time around, led by none other than the madman himself, Tom Cruise. The guy was born with jet fuel in his blood, and he has no signs of slowing down anytime soon. His physical commitment to this role is always tremendous, but he consistently delivers a pretty cool and situationally funny performance as Ethan Hunt in these movies, and this entry is no different. Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, and Rebecca Ferguson all play their parts very well. I do think Rebecca Ferguson was a little underutilized in here, though. I've been saying for years now that I think she is one of the most interesting actresses working today, and I love seeing her and stuff, so that was a bit of a bummer. Definitely still happy for what they did give us, but I think this movie could have used a little bit more of her. And then you have Haley Atwell, who's the new kid on the block and joins the franchise this time around, and other than Tom Cruise, no one has more screen time in this movie than her. And she makes the most out of absolutely all of her scenes. She's out there chewing the scenery in this film. They do a really good job making her character feel unique within the group. She plays off the other members of the team really well, and she held my attention even when she was off on her own. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of her. One thing I love about these movies and spy espionage films in general is when they slow the pace way down and bring the genre back to its roots. Sneaking around in plain sight, pickpocketing people in crowds, using masks to go undercover, those classic heist type of sequences, but they're the good guys. And even though that stuff is much slower paced compared to all of the ridiculous stunts and fights, they always find a way to keep the tension and suspense at an all-time high. Obviously, people come to these films for massive spectacle, and there's so much of that in here, but I love the parts in this movie where they remind you that there's more to the spy game than riding motorcycles off of cliffs and stopping a runaway train. That's not to say that those over-the-top and insane action sequences aren't in here. Oh man, are they in here. Some of the most visually stunning and jaw-dropping action sequences of the entire franchise, to be exact. And this movie's really good at just giving you a bunch of what you really want to see. Car chases, gunfights, Tom Cruise running. All of those Mission Impossible staples are included, but they're cranked up to 11. I don't know at the end of the day if this entry will go down as having the best action in the entire series, but it definitely shows us a lot of different types of action we haven't seen before. That really helps to keep the movie fresh and make that 2.5-hour runtime absolutely fly by. Seriously, I could have watched another hour of this thing. Overall, guys, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is easily worth the long wait we've had to endure since Fallout. Now, it's definitely not the best entry in the franchise, but let me tell you, it ain't no slouch either. The stunts are insane, the scenarios are interesting, and the hijinks are as fun as they always are. Sure, the overall plot and the evil plan of the film can get a little convoluted and confusing at times, but the movie's such a wild thrill ride from start to finish that it doesn't bother you all that much while you're watching it, and hopefully those issues can be rectified when we get the second part of this thing. But Tom Cruise proves once again that when a Mission Impossible movie comes out, you're not going to want to miss it. Give me Part 2 right now. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 gets a Sully score of 4 stars. So that's my review of the latest Mission Impossible movie. Let me know in the comments below which one of these films is your favorite. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys at the next one.